Mateo asking, what do you mean you want to see me again? Just so many people have made this joke before, whatever, never mind. You'll get it by now. Either way, we are going to sell that TM that Brock gave us. $1,000 is a lot at this point in the game. As you can tell, I've only raised $2,000 ever since we began. And am I actually buying potions? Indeed I am. Well then. Well, it is the start of the game and we are going to go through a big dungeon. So, it would be better to have at least some. And then the rest buying Pokeballs. At the beginning I'll buy potions, after that not so much. Maybe for the Elite Four, but that's a long ways from now. And if you tried to go this way earlier, something would stop you, I believe. It did in Fire Red and Leaf Green. And once you beat Brock, Professor Oak's aide, who had been stopping you earlier, would give you the running shoes. So that's that. Running shoes weren't introduced in this game like they weren't introduced in Crystal. So yeah, we're just going to have to deal with walking. You could get a bike later on, but I really don't like the bike all too much. I'm just going to get it to go through the cycling road. Really? Really? Only one more level, and Nidoran would have learned Double Kick, and I would have been able to take down that Onix a lot quicker. Oh, man. At least I did it on my first try and didn't have to have some weird guy power up my Pikachu through the use of a windmill and electrical currents, and yet Pikachu's Thunder attack still should not have hurt Onix because Onix is part ground type, but whatever, that's the anime. Oh, another bug catcher. I thought I left you all at Viridian Forest. Do you at least have something other than a Caterpie? Caterpie should be a Butterfree by now and a lot more experience at that. And of course, useless critical hit. Weedle! Finally! Weedle is the counterpart of Caterpie, as well as being bug type. It's also part poison type, whereas Caterpie is just bug type until it fully evolves into Butterfree and it has the flying subtype. So yeah, it knows poison, it being Weedle. Weedle knows Poison Sting rather than Tackle, and then it learns Harden when it levels up. And then it learns, I think, Fury Attack when it's fully evolved. I forget. I think it's Fury Attack. But overall, out of the two, I think they're both useless. I really do not like Bug-type Pokemon all that much. Except maybe Scyther was pretty good. Although I just really do not like all too many Bug-type Pokemon, especially in the early generations. So now we're training up Nidoran female a bit because she is pretty weak. And I can safely say she because it is marked as a female, whereas most of the Pokemon do not have genders, so I will just have to guess. Either way, we now have Akins. So, Akins is a poison-type Pokemon, which you can't get in this game because of reasons I will explain later, but because of those reasons, there really is a lack of poison-type Pokemon, especially early in the game. Oh, great rap. That gives me more time to talk. You can't catch Akins, you can't catch Coughing. So you really don't have any access to poison-type Pokemon except for the Nidorans, which really don't learn any poison-type moves, and Zubat, which really doesn't learn any poison-type moves. So, oh, hello. So you really don't have access to that much poison. You don't have access to fire either. Flying, if you trained up Spearow like I didn't, you'd have access to that. Otherwise, getting rid of grass-type Pokemon would be rather difficult. So yeah, that's basically my only complaint about this version of the Pokemon game is the lack of early poison types. But then again, I end up not using a poison type anyway, so that's that. Did I accidentally just make a hint to my team? I think I did. What was that? Oh well. And yes, we defeated another last. They don't even have names in this game, which is fine. Pikachu out of the way. And then there's this guy. I think he's either a bug trainer or a shorts guy. He is a bug trainer. So anything interesting, Weedle should be a Kakuna by now. But whatever. I honestly don't understand why you would stop your Pokemon from evolving. I mean, the thing is with Weedle, well, rather, Kakuna and Metapod is that if you find them in a wild, they only know Harden. But if you evolve it, then it will still know the Poison, Sting, or Tackle and String Shot. It's not like they'll suddenly forget it, so why not evolve it? I mean, it has better stats, and it will be one step closer to evolving into an even better Pokemon. Let me guess, this guy now has a Metapod after that, and the only reason I'm using Pikachu, even though he's overleveled as he is because he's special and Harden raises regular defense, so he bypasses the Harden. See, it's going to do the same damage even though we kill him anyways, and he uses critical hit. That's fun, always. I always happen to get critical hits when they're the most useless. Down here we have another guy, and this guy is definitely a shorts guy, as he pointed out that I am not wearing shorts. Youngster, that's what they're called, not shorts guy, although the youngsters are kind of short. But what? Oh my god. Yeah, that didn't work out all too well. We're switching to Pikachu, because flying is weak to electricity. Boom. It didn't. Oh, it's level 14, that's why. Okay. And another useless critical hit. Hooray! I haven't even been pointing out all of them, I'm sure, and yet there's still been more, I'm sure. Either way, we can go back down here. I'm going to make a quick run back to the Pokemon Center off screen, and I will meet you right here, and all of a sudden teleporting NPCs. Yay, fun. So yes, we can go around all these people and pass the last trainer of this route. And this one is required. New Pokemon. Yeah, you do not have new Pokemon. You could have new Pokemon if you actually evolved them, but otherwise, no. No, you don't. Why are Nidorans doing so poorly, both of them? I mean, did Nidoran female really learn Scratch and Tackle? Those two moves are practically the same thing. Why did it... That's useless. Would have been better with Horn Attack, although... Never mind. Anyways. Once again, bypassing Harden and... Okay, now Nidoran female has Double Kick. So we have 3 Pokemon with a fighting type move, which is pretty good because we're going into Cave soon, and Geodude. No, I was just walking past you and then you freaked out. So here we are, last sent out Jigglypuff. Well, that's good. We just got Double Kick, so let's try it. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think that Stab was still in this generation. I'm not sure if another generation introduced it or whatever, but I'm guessing that Stab was in this generation, and that's why Double Kick didn't do nearly as well as it should. That and Nidoran doesn't have that high of an attack stat, and Jigglypuff is kind of defensive. Coughing for a second. That was fun. And Pidgey just died. Well, in the grass in this route that you just fought the girl with the Jigglypuff at, you can find a Sandshrew. And Sandshrew is a pretty cool Pokemon. I thought of using a Sandshrew, however, it doesn't have access to that many ground-type moves, so I decided against it, although I'm pretty sure it can learn Poison Sting, which is odd. But in the anime, it's kind of been a staple for it to know Poison Sting, so I guess so. Like, the Sandshrew or Sandslash would, like, curl up into a ball, start spinning around, and the Poison Sting would, like, spit out from there or something, I don't even know. It's been forever since I watched the anime. Maybe I should watch the anime just so I could reference it. Like, rewatch the anime, just so I could reference it in this Let's Play, in different spots. I was incredibly sure that you could also find a Jigglypuff in that grass, or maybe it's this grass. Hello there. From Cerulean takes a lot. From Cerulean? That's impossible, sir. You cannot re-enter that tunnel after getting into Cerulean. There's a thing that blocks you off from there. Either way, we are now healing Pokemon because there's a random Pokemon Center in the middle of nowhere. Actually, it's kind of like Black and White and how they always have a rest house halfway through the route because they always have, like, the route and then some giant cave, and then the next town, and then a route, and then a giant cave. Just one complaint about Black and White is that it always had the giant dungeon type place. Either way, Nidoran male grew to level 16, and that means that he is evolving. So he's now a slightly larger reptilian rabbit thingy with a longer horn and more ferocious. He basically just got bigger. But he's still pretty cool. I like Nidorino's design, but he's only an okay Pokemon. And likewise, Nidoran female at level 16 is going to become a larger reptilian rabbit thingy. It basically just got bigger. But yes, now with that, those are the only Pokemon that evolve rather close to their levels. We can now head into Mount Moon, the very first actual dungeon of the random encounter of a Geodude. No, not that last part. However, we can find Geodudes rather often. Like, everybody complains about Zubats. And I just don't run into them as much as I do Geodude. And I'm guessing it's because Zubats have the supersonic that confuses. However, later on, Geodude has a self-destruct that kills. So, pick your poison. Later on, I hate Geodude. Now, it's okay. Okay, we just got a TM, which I think is like Bubble Water Gun. Knew it was a water type move. Bubble Beam's the one that you get from the next gym leader, actually. Well then, over here we can get a potion. Usually that's, in the remix, that's the TM for Bullet Seed, I believe. Okay, well, Bug, your bugs aren't going to last very long in here, sir. It's full of rock-type Pokemon that your attacks will do absolutely nothing against. But basically, I leveled up all my Pokemon to around level 15. I raised Nidorino and Nidorina up another level, just so that they'd evolve into Nidorino and Nidorina. So basically, they've kind of lost their genders, but you can still tell because of how they were before they evolved and whatnot, so... yes. There are very few Pokemon that actually have genders in this game, and I will point those out because why not? Okay, that's cool. Now, I thought, for whatever reason, that this girl had a Zubat. No, she has a Clefairy, which is actually a very rare Pokemon in this cave. It only shows up like 1% of the time. And you're going to want to catch 2 of them. If you're playing through red or blue, you only want to catch 1. But if you're playing through yellow, catch 2 of them. Provided that you're going for all 151. Or if you want a certain psychic type later on. Coughing again. Yay for scratchy throat and the inability to mute this microphone, so I have to like roll back a couple feet in hopes that you really don't hear it. In these tunnels, you could find Zubat, which I just did, as well as Paris sometimes. Basically, the random Pokemon you want to catch in here is Geodude, Zubat, 2 Clefairies, or at least 1. Although if you're going for all 151, catch 2 of them. And Paris. And that's that. And yes, that's pretty much it. Otherwise, Zubat really isn't that deadly in the slightest. Leech Life only does like 5 damage even if it's super effective. So, really nothing to worry about. And yes, one thing that I didn't point out, it's actually something that I discovered in Crystal, is that when you catch the Pokemon, at least in these early games, is that the Pokeball turns the certain color of whatever Pokemon it was that you caught. So if you saw, I caught Zubat, and the Pokeball turned blue when it caught, I caught Geodude, and the Pokeball turned brown when it caught. So that's a pretty interesting touch. Later on, it just like darkens, and then whatever, it's kind of boring. And Pokemon Gangsters. Oh no, he has a whip. That's totally gangster. Well then. Well, if they're Pokemon gangs, nah. I don't even know where I'm going with that. So, basically, Team Rocket has the usual Rattata, Zubats, basically poison types and normal types, and sometimes Sandshrew, as you can see. Nothing dangerous about them at all, as you will later on find out. But that's all that we have time for this part. If you enjoyed this, then subscribe, rate, and comment, and I'll see you all next time.